This week, Senator John Kennedy called for the city of New Orleans to allow NOPD to use stop and frisk to prevent crime. We're going to take a look at those statements and what's already happening in your breakdown. Let's start with Kennedy's 30-minute speech. He took to the Senate floor to say New Orleans is under attack and said,
"We've tried everything but one thing: stop and frisk. It is time to allow the men and women of the New Orleans Police Department to use stop and frisk without fear of losing their jobs."
Kennedy made similar statements in 2015 when he was state treasurer and again in 2017 on Eyewitness Morning News.
It can work if it's properly done.
But these kinds of stops are already happening in New Orleans. NOPD performs what are called Terry stops, named after a 1968 Supreme Court ruling which set guidelines for what is considered constitutional under the Fourth Amendment. Per the law and per NOPD, quote, officers may only conduct stops where there is reasonable suspicion that a person has engaged, is engaging, or is about to engage in criminal conduct. After every stop, officers must submit an electronic report with a whole list of information. An audit of these stops and searches last summer showed that 90% were fully compliant with all NOPD guidelines, training, and constitutional law. But Kennedy believes New Orleans police have been far too conservative with them, and this is the only thing the city hasn't tried.
Statistically, it is more dangerous to be young and black in New Orleans than it was to be a Marine in the Battle of Fallujah.
But it is worth noting stop and frisk policies have been criticized for a history of abuse and racial profiling. New York City's policy was deemed unconstitutional after 80% of the city's millions of stops were black and Latino people. Now, Kennedy is right that there's been a sharp decline in the number of suspect persons stopped and searched since 2018. That's also hand in hand with a steadily declining number of officers working in New Orleans. So while Kennedy calls for stop and frisk, it's already happening, and there may not be the officers right now to do more.